So that is parts 1 through 9 played in roll speed. Following that, we move into the 10th part of this introduction. The last thing that we did in part 9 was we had our chord shape here formed. The chord was, our ring finger was on the 3rd fret of the D string. Our pointer finger was on the 1st fret of the B. And our pinky was on the 3rd fret of the high E. Now here in part 10, we're going to continue to hold this chord shape. To begin in part 10, what you're going to do is you're going to pick your A string open. And after you've done that, you're going to take your ring finger off of the D string and you're going to use it to hammer on to the 3rd fret of the A. So that's going to sound like this here to begin part 10, played slow. Looking at that from this angle, you can see I had that chord formed that we had formed. I'm going to pick the A string. I'm going to take my ring finger off of the D string and use it to hammer onto the 3rd fret of the A, and then I will continue to hold that note there. So that will sound like this once again from this angle to begin part 10. Now after I've hammered onto the 3rd fret of the A string, which is what I did, what I'm going to do next is this. I'm going to continue to hold the notes that I have, which are the 3rd fret of the A string with my ring finger. I have the 1st fret of the B string with my pointer finger and the 3rd fret of the high E string with my pinky. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my middle finger and I'm going to stick it right in the middle. I'm going to move my other fingers out of the way for now just to show you what I'm doing with my middle finger here. What I'm doing is I'm sticking it right in between my D and my G strings here at the 2nd fret. What I'm trying to do here is I want to get my middle finger to hold down both strings at the 2nd fret. So that's the goal here. The goal is to use your one finger to hold down 2 strings at the 2nd fret, okay? So that's the chord that we formed here after we hammer on with our ring finger. The notes that are being held down now are the 3rd fret of the A, the 2nd fret of both the D and the G, and a quick reminder, both of these strings are being held down by my middle finger. Then we have the 1st fret of the B with my pointer finger, and then the 3rd fret of the high E string with my pinky. So, after I hammered on to the 3rd fret of the A, which is what I did, I formed this chord, and once I have this chord formed here, I'm going to strum it up, down, and up. That'll sound like this. So far here, all together in part 10, we have this played slow. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the 3rd fret of the A where my ring finger is. I'm going to pick it, and after I've done that, I'm going to continue to press down firmly and slide up to the 5th fret of the A. That will sound like this. So far, all together here, we have this played slow in part 10. After you slid up to the 5th fret of the A with your ring finger, you're then going to quickly form a D5 power chord, and this chord is formed by placing your pointer finger on the 5th fret of your A string, place your ring finger on the 7th fret of your D, and directly below it, place your pinky on the 7th fret of your G. This is a D5 power chord. We'll strum these 3 notes up, down, up as well. It will sound like this. And once we've done that, that will end the 10th part of this introduction. To play part 10 all together and slow will sound like this. Part 10 played in roll speed will sound like this. Parts 1 through 10 of our introduction played together in roll speed. Now for the 11th and final part of this introduction. What we're going to do is we're going to take our pointer finger and you're going to bar across your D and your G strings here at your 7th fret. So I've got my pointer finger laid flat on the neck. I'm pressing down firmly on both of those strings, the D and the G at the 7th. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick those two strings together, the D and the G, and after I pick them, I'm going to take my ring finger and I'm going to hammer onto only the 9th fret of the D string. So that's going to sound like this played slow. Looking at that from this angle here, looks like this. Now after you've done that hammer on there, you will pick your ring finger up off the board. Your pointer finger is still barred at the 7th fret across the D and the G. You will then pick those two notes together. So we have this so far in part 11 played slow. And then after that, you will place your pinky on the 10th fret of your A string, pick that note one time. And then following that, you will take your pointer finger and you will bar across your A and your D strings here at the 7th fret. You'll pick those two notes together. We have this so far all together in part 11 played slow. And then after that, you're going to continue to bar with your pointer finger across the A and the D strings there at the 7th fret. Take your ring finger, place it on the 9th fret of your A string. You're going to pick your A and your D strings together. The two notes here will be the 9th fret of the A and then the 7th fret of the D. You'll pick those two notes and then continue to press down firmly with your fretting hand and slide the shape down the neck of the guitar. So that will sound like this. Okay? So far all together here in part 11 we have this played slow. And then after that, the only thing that's left is we will place our middle finger on the 12th fret of our low E, pick that once, and then take your ring finger and bar across your bottom 3 strings at the 12th fret, pick these 3 notes in an upward motion and slide down the neck of the guitar. And that will end part 11. Part 11 played all together in slow. Part 11 played in roll speed. So that's part 11 played in roll speed. Now here, I'm going to play parts 1 through 11 all together in slow, and then I will play parts 1 through 11 that make up the introduction in roll speed. Here they are played slow. So that's parts 1 through 11 played slow. Now that makes up the introduction. And now once again, here's parts 1 through 11 played in roll speed.